The sales robots have taken over, and they're decimating deals left and right, destroying them right in their tracks. On the AI for Sales podcast, our mission is to empower everyday sellers to embrace AI superpowers to build new bridges and crush quota. Dr. Joel Laban said it best in the AI for Sales book. In sales, time kills deals. In AI for Sales, AI kills time. Join our hosts as we learn from the C-suite of the world's fastest growing companies about how you can leverage AI today to transform your sales revenue engine while being the best version of you.
Welcome back, everyone, to another AI for Sales podcast. I am Chad Burmeister, your host, and I'm excited to get back online. It's been a month since the holidays, and today we've got a really cool guest. David Guedalia is with the CTO of Lucia, and I'm sure you've heard of Lucia. If you're in the data game or business development pipeline, then you've seen and heard about Lucia. What I'm also excited about is that David was also a vice president at Qualcomm and, more importantly, Mobilize, an automated vehicle technology. So really, really cool stuff that David's been working on. I'm glad you're at Lucia now, and I can't wait to see where the future goes. So, David, welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Where on earth are you located right now, David?
So right now I'm in Israel. Lucia's offices are in Tel Aviv. And I live in a city called Beit Shemesh, which is small.
Well, great. I know there's a lot of high-powered data experts from Israel. So I'm excited to dig into the conversation. A lot's going on in the world of AI with this DeepSeek announcement that just came out in the last couple of days. And, you know, faster, cheaper, less energy requirements, pretty disruptive in the world coming from our friends in APAC. So I'd love to ask you first, David, the question that is, how has AI transformed the customer experience, right? I think of this show a lot of times focuses on the sales motion, but I like to start with the customer in mind.
Right.
How's AI making the customer experience different or better?
So AI fits in a couple of different places in the end-to-end customer experience. If you think of it just as a translator, so the customer has to speak some language in order to communicate with us, with whoever it may be. And AI provides translation. Like the most easy example to that are the chatbots. In the whole world of the LLMs and the chatbots, they've revolutionized the way you can interact with things. So the man-machine interface has shifted. It used to be you had to know how to type, you had to program, you had to write SQL statements. Now you can just talk human speak and the computer can understand you. That's a major shift. But that's actually the smallest part of the revolution. Because what happens afterwards is AI then slots in, and now we have the AI agent. So you can have AI do work for you. And then we have now, we're calling the automation aspects, which are the physical actions that happen after. So a typical customer wants to research something, and then they want to enrich that activity. They want to go out and have an agent enrich the activity, and then they want to do an action afterwards. You want to send an email, you want to gather some data, you want to save it, you want to export it, etc. Those are three elements of the chain of action that have all dramatically shifted with AI. But at Lucia, there's a fourth thing going on, because at the end of the day, when you're looking for some type of data or you're looking for some information, you want to educate yourself, if you look under the lamppost, you only look where you are. No matter how powerful the AI, you're not going to find anything very interesting. So at Lucia, we've taken an enormous amount of data that's not actually even online. A lot of it's proprietary. And we're making that available to our customers with AI.
Very cool. Revolution is the word that I heard you use, and I couldn't agree more. I think we're just scraping the surface of valuations of companies, growth rates, productivity, I remember Bill Clinton spoke at an event several years ago at a Salesforce Dreamforce event, former president of the United States. And he said, we got 5% operational efficiency in America, and the stock market boomed in his presidency. And I think 5% is probably very minuscule compared to what we're going to see here in the coming
Yeah.
weeks, months, years.
Yes.
Good times ahead, I think, for everybody. Tell
Yeah,
me
it
about
does have that.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
well, maybe this is the next question. It does have that element where when it becomes more, when your work is more productive, you have two choices, right? You can go on vacation and go fishing, or you can just work a lot harder. And those of us that are in the business are just working a lot harder.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Because people keep talking about the 4-day work week from the time I was a kid, and that's not fully come to fruition because every time we get more efficient, we just want to work the full 5 days, I'm afraid, especially in America.
Yeah.
Uh, Talk to me about a success story where AI either helped Lucia close a deal, or maybe you've deployed Lucia with a customer. But talk to me a little bit about an efficiency or a sales play that's valuable when it comes to AI and Lucia and the customer.
Well, well, if you think about what Lucia does, Lucia enables you to find your customers. We're a search engine with added value. And we do more now. So that's a poor salesman pitch of what Lucia does. It's what Lucia used to do before the AI revolution. So Lucia 2.0 went ahead and used AI to I don't want to use it revolutionize it. Usually 2.0 used AI to significantly improve the accuracy and the coverage of its data. So our users immediately got a boost. We've improved our email accuracies, our phone accuracies. So we're much, much better at everything we do because we leverage AI to distill the data to provide our users with what they need. There's Lucia 3.0 in the making. And we just started to release it now in January. And that's provided a whole new product line where we're starting to release very accurate recommendation lists. And I wish I could share some of the feedback we're getting from the users, but I'll let somebody else share that with you. We're having phenomenal feedback. Never seen anything like this before. People love it.
Wow. Well, it makes sense to me because as a 30-year power user of data technologies, way back in the day of Jigsaw, if you ever heard of that company that got bought by Salesforce and became data.com and then became sunsetted. But I've used a lot, if not all, of the data technologies that are out there, certainly the major ones. And what I've seen is the user has to know and understand their prospects to a level that's extremely difficult to understand. If I'm calling into a nonprofit, well, what are the unique titles that I might need to reach? I might come up with one or two, but when you add a GPT on top, what else? Just ask a simple question, what else? And it scours everything and serves those up. So I can only imagine some of those kinds of technologies being brought into the data platform so that you don't have to have someone like me that understands all those titles. You just let the Lucia do the work.
Right. So we like to say, stop searching and start selling.
Yes. Wow. That's really amazing. What about AI misconceptions? Because you've worked with Mobileye, automated vehicle, Qualcomm. You've been in and around big data, and what AI has morphed throughout the decades. What's a misconception that you'd call out on this call?
So I can think of two directions to go with that one. One is there's an assumption that AI is just so powerful it will do everything. So if you think of mobile vehicles, for example, cars, autonomous vehicles, For years now, we've had good enough technology to solve highway driving, but urban driving is a problem. Now, even Elon Musk went out on a limb years ago, said, "Oh, we'll solve it in 12 months." Didn't happen. But had we said there are limitations, and what we need to do is just solve half the problem, solve all the highway driving. That's fine. Perhaps a little bit of regulation is necessary. You have autonomous lanes, perhaps you have aspects. It can be solved. So integrating AI into the global solution is not any less important than having a powerful AI to begin with. So if you're going to go ahead and you're going to say, "Oh, AI is going to solve all my problems," start a new company. I'll just use ChatGPT to provide sales leads to my customers. I don't think you're going to get very far.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it makes me think of football because there was a recent game that was called, and maybe for the last 2 years, when a bad play call happens by a referee,
Yeah,
everybody screams, that was a first down, that was a complete catch, his foot was in bounds, all these things in American football. And especially this last game, Kansas City versus Buffalo Bills, there was a couple plays that were game-changing plays. And so naturally, my wife and I are talking, and well, when are they going to have a chip in the ball and just have AI make the play call decisions in place of the referee? And the downside of I don't know if that's what we really want, or when can we power the AI to be the 12 jurors and the judge jury on a case? And that I think both of those examples fit within your point, right?
But you're highlighting even something more dramatic, which is humans are dynamic creatures. We're always changing. Like you said, we could go to a 4-day work week. No, we'll go to a 5-day work week. We want to push forward creativity and productivity. And whatever AI you use today is built on yesterday's human activity. And it's just not good enough. So you're always going to need a human in the loop. That's perhaps the second biggest fallacy in AI. There's this test called the Turing test. Perhaps you've seen it. Can you fool a person into believing that the computer is really intelligent? And today the chatbots pass it easily. So then the conclusion most people come to is, "Oh, look, computers are intelligent." And the answer is no. Computers that interact with humans are intelligent. It's a subtle difference, but it's a big one. If you take all the humans out of the loop, the computers will tell you. You could have a football game, have robots play robots, and all the jurors will be robots, and all the referees will be robots. And that would be not an exciting thing to watch.
Yeah, that's right. I had the similar conversation. Go to a basketball game with, robots that can dunk and do all kinds of crazy things. Right. That might be fun to go to once. I don't know if I'd go every week. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. How do we maintain the balance between automation and AI with personal touch? So, furthering to what we're already talking about, how do we maintain the human touch?
So again, if I go back to stop searching, start selling, humans are doing a lot of hard work that can be automated. Fantastic. But that actually just frees them up to do a lot of harder work, which is that person-to-person contact. And so the customer support teams are just going to grow. Maybe there'll be a shift from some of the BDRs that were doing the research, but it's going to shift over.
Yeah. It's almost, if I look at a seller's time, I think it's something like 47% of their day is actual selling time. And that's probably overstated by a lot.
I heard much smaller numbers.
So if I could fill the cup with selling time, it reminds me of doctors, right? If a doctor wasn't just there doing the operations and was actually recruiting patients, what the heck are we talking about? Yeah. Let's divide the jobs into different tasks and figure out what the AI can do, and then put the human on the task that they're supposed to be on, where they're adding the most value. I love it. What about emerging technologies? I'm sure as the CTO, you're seeing competition, you're seeing the market as a whole. Like you're probably making decisions of what Lucia purchases. What are you excited about that's coming out on the horizon?
Oh wow. Excited. The first thing is actually on the perhaps the negative side is there's a lot of noise. It's very hard initially to distill and to identify the real new values that are coming. If I look at some of our competition, and not to be too um, negative, I think some of the competition is using the word AI, and they're doing things with AI, but it's just noise.
Yeah.
So the first step is really to identify the true value. And
Yeah.
at the
Avoid
core,
the
some of
noise.
that value is found deep in the data architecture. So I think the thing I'm most excited about is watching my team grow. It's just a lot of fun. They're thinking differently. They're incorporating new technologies. We've built out different types of databases, for example, and how to use them. We have a lot of proprietary technology we're developing, but then you watch the engineering teams as they grow into it, and they're really excited and it's fun.
I love it. I've got a picture of Iron Man sitting in my other room, and it's a small one. And what that makes me think of is I need to get the huge Iron Man suit and just have the person sitting right behind me because that's what it feels like we're getting into the age of putting on the suit. Are you two times more effective? Are you five times? What about 20 times?
Right.
So I love it. What about the ethical side of AI? Because you must have seen, have you seen an AI make a bad decision, or where do we need to steer clear when it comes to the ethical side of AI?
So the first obvious one is private information and PII, and we're very, very careful at Lucia, and we're working on all the correct GDPR, the highest level of privacy that we can get authorized by government. So if you just use some AI and you get fed information and you don't know how to track that information, that might not be legal, and you have to be very careful with that one. I'm sure we've all received phone calls from people trying to sell us something that we never wanted to buy, and we're trying to figure out why they're selling it to me. But I had one recently where I got the same phone call 3 times, and I said the first time, not I. So how did they get my number? Why are they calling me to sell me this thing? You know, that's where you got to be careful at the first level.
Yeah,
The second
that
thing with
makes sense.
AI, yeah, I was going to say is that besides privacy issues, there's the fact that it hallucinates, and you have to be careful not to trust anything you really have. So at Lucia, we're always cross-validating our data. We're never taking anything as is. And we have multiple sources of data. We cross-validate everything, and part of the data architecture really is inherently trying to cross-validate the data in different ways.
Yeah, I love that because I joined Informatica about 10 months ago, and data governance is one of the three core products that's inside of the platform. And one of the commercials that came out at the end of last year says, yeah, yeah, boss, I used AI to do the deliveries. And then they show this guy at a beach that gets his snowboard.
Right,
It was
exactly.
like, oops, hallucination.
Yeah,
So
almost.
the
So,
governed data becomes a key part of the whole equation, and master data management and where you get your
right,
data and what's a single record and all that stuff. So
right.
very,
Right.
very
It goes
important.
back to what we were saying, how a misconception in AI. If you believe AI is going to do the entire project for you, I'm afraid you're going to come out on the bottom side of that one.
Yeah, especially in the near term. Maybe in 5 or 10 years, things will go really different, but not at the moment. I've been told there's a new version of AI or a flavor of it called cognitive AI, and it would take 5 years of heavy investment in cognitive AI before the AI can actually get truly smart. Um, that's
Again,
a
it
long
goes
ways
back to
away.
that 4-day work week question. At the end of the day, what's your competition doing? They're going to use everything you have plus human intelligence.
Yep, that's right. All right, last question, David, is, I think what's been leading up to this important question, and that is, with all these new advancements from Lucia and some of the ones that are, some of the other AI out there that's just maybe, I don't know, not real AI. There's a lot of fake AI and noise, as we talked about. What should sales pros focus on? What skills do they need to be able to suit up and wear the Iron Man suit?
Right, that's a great question. I think the first thing is a sensitivity to how AI works. So, for example, we now have a recommendation list. Don't search, just sell. Boom, here's a list of people you should sell to. Well, how did the AI come up with that list? So the poor man's version is I gave it an ICP. I told it what I'm most interested in. This is the profile of my customer. A little bit better than that, though, is I said, track my behavior. Here's a couple of things that I'm interested in. Maybe I shared my CRM. I said, look, here's what I did last year. Tell me what I should do next year. But again, having blind faith that it can read my CRM and really understand where I'm going is a mistake. So guiding the AI, the salespeople need to start to become sensitive to how to guide the AI.
Yep.
To maximize its ability.
It almost reminds me of, there was a recent report that said if we have a certain number of hours of technical sales on an opportunity, then it's more likely to close. And it's the correlation versus causation conversation, right? Is that what actually caused it to move? Or was it something that a salesperson said upstream and the buyer needed, and then that led to the 8 hours? So I think that's a perfect example of, what am I guiding the AI to look for? Because I can start to tell whatever story I want to tell. And we need to be smart thinkers as well.
Yes, don't undervalue human intelligence.
Love it. Well, David, this has been a fabulous first AI for Sales conversation of 2025. So thank you very much for being on the show. We've been talking with David Guedalia, the CTO of Lucia. And if people want to look up more about Lucia, can you share the website and what would be the best way to move ahead with reaching out to you guys?
Easy, lucia.com, LUSHA.com.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to talking to you again maybe next year at this time and seeing what's changed.
Yep. That'd be great.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining another AI for Sales podcast.
Hey, you made it this far in your AI for Sales journey. Want to augment your sales growth? First, leave us a review and then visit www.scalex.ai to claim your free strategy session today.